You ever tried to talk to a friend or a partner or a family member about money? And sometimes they can just sort of close up, or their eyes glaze over, or they just don't really seem that interested. Even if you're talking about something about yourself, your own money. It's a subject that's very interesting, and I find the psychology of it very interesting. So this video is actually like to get your guys' advice as well, get your guys' opinions on what you think some of the reasons are as well why people don't like talking about money. Maybe it's you yourself. Maybe you don't like the subject. Maybe you're trying to talk to a friend who is having money problems. Maybe you're just trying to talk to another friend who's come into a lot of inheritance, or a partner with whom you want to split the bills. And some of those decisions or some of those conversations can be quite difficult. But for what reason? Why do people find it difficult? Let's have a look at 3 of the reasons that I think that people find talking about money difficult. And I'd love you guys to comment in the comments below on YouTube and just tell me why you think that either you or anyone you know doesn't like talking about money. So let's have a look at the first one, lack of interest. So some people just don't care about money. And a lot of the times I hear people say, oh, I'm just not a numbers person. I'm not a numbers person. And that just instantly shows a massive lack of interest in the subject whatsoever, right? And it's something that's always fascinated me because money is sort of like the lifeblood of your life outside of your body. You know, the blood in your body is coursing through your veins, keeping you alive. And money, especially in the Western world, keeps you alive in terms of paying for rent, paying for electricity and heat, paying for water even, you know? So the lack of interest is like someone saying, oh, well, I don't really care about my health. It's sort of inconceivable to me, but it is a big thing that people say, you know, I just don't really, I'm not a money person, I don't really care about it. So why do you think, you know, if you're one of these people, why do you have such a lack of interest? And is it possible to help me understand why you have a lack of interest? Because I'd really love to hear. But it is totally understandable. I get it, because there's subjects that I really don't care about at all either. And so if I was to kind of flip on its head and say, medieval history or something like this, it might be something that I might not be as interested in. So I totally get it. Another one was not actually understanding. So rather than the lack of interest, maybe someone feels like they would not be able to understand what is going on. I know a few people in my life, when I've talked to them a little bit about money, maybe their own money situation or my plan for life, they kind of nod along and go, oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, no, I'd love to do that as well, but I just don't understand. I don't really understand it. And I get it. It does sound difficult when you start talking about interest rates and stocks and rate of return. I can understand how someone might not understand. So that's one of the reasons I started this channel as well, to just break it down very simply and help people understand that it's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. You do need to put a little bit of effort in to try to understand, but I do believe that anyone that tries to understand will understand. And it sort of comes back from the first point of lack of interest. You have to have a little bit of interest to then be able to understand. And that brings us nicely on to the third point, which is judgment. And this is a huge one because I think this is probably the most important one. You know, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but people will judge other people based upon the money, on their money, and how much they show their money, how much they spend their money, how much savings they have got. And that is a biggie, and one of the core reasons I believe, which is why people shut down as soon as you mention money or savings or investments or anything like this. People think that they're going to be judged if they share, if they say, "Oh well, I've got, I've not got any savings," then they feel bad about that, and that probably shuts them down in terms of not wanting to speak about it and not learn about it, and therefore never make those savings. So judgment is a huge factor, and it's something we should all be aware of when you're talking to your partner about splitting bills, or you're talking to a friend or a family member. You should definitely keep in mind that they believe you are going to be judging them, and the less you can judge them, and the more you can make them believe that it does not matter, then you will have a much better conversation going forward. So that's three of the things that, especially in my life, I have felt that people have exhibited to me. Maybe they haven't said it directly, but those three things are definitely present in any money conversation that I've had. And very rarely, again, let me know if how you guys are in your lives, but I've got very few friends who are very open with money, and they're very happy to talk about everything. They know there's no judgment, but they tend to be the friends that are a little bit better off. And there's obviously the fine line as well between being open to talk about money and also arrogant. Of course, you may have one of those friends who earns quite a lot of money and is actually quite arrogant about it. I can afford this. I can spend money on this. I can go to this restaurant. I can buy this car. And that is the other side of the spectrum, really. And it actually verges into carelessness, potentially. But in this video, that's outside the scope of this video. So let me know what you think about your situation, your friends, how comfortable you feel about talking about it, and if there's any other subjects you'd like me to touch upon to maybe make conversations about money easier, because that's what my channel is all about, and I'd love to hear your suggestions. So comment in the comments below and let me know what you think.